Hello, and welcome to the Optional Practical Training OPT workshop. My name is Andrew Patrick, and I'm the Associate Director of International Student Services at WVU. And our team of advisors is here for you to help understand the OPT regulations and assist with authorization. And this presentation is meant to provide you with an overview of OPT procedures and regulations. We hope that it's helpful, and let's get started. So what is optional practical training? So OPT is an employment benefit for international F1 students that enables them to work in the US in a job related to your field of study. It's intended to enhance and supplement the formal classroom education after a student's coursework is completed. The United States Immigration and Citizenship Services, also known as USCIS, adjudicates and authorizes OPT for up to 12 months after you complete your course requirements or your program. The form needed to apply is called the I-765, and applications are typically filed online. However, before filing the I-765 with USCIS, you must request an updated I-20 and recommendation in CVIS from ISSS. This is why we're here, to help with this recommendation, to make sure that you are eligible, and to help you with that I-20 needed in order to send your I-765 to USCIS and be authorized for the 12 months of post-completion OPT. So when are you eligible? The eligibility time period opens up 90 days before your program end date. It can be your actual program end date that's on your I-20 currently, in which you plan to utilize, or an anticipated program end date if you are finishing earlier than expected. But you cannot apply more than 60 days after the program end date. So the window to apply is 90 days before the program end date and 60 days after. It is recommended that you apply early to allow enough time to accommodate USCIS processing times and unexpected circumstances. USCIS processing timelines will vary anywhere from 1 to 5 months depending on the time of year. And do not forget ISSS's processing timelines of 15 business days. Many OPT requests are processed much sooner than 15 business days. However, we do have periods of high volume when multiple graduates are requesting OPTs. Please make sure that you apply early and let us know of any issues or urgent needs. So how do you decide on your program end date? Here are the guidelines. We must ensure that you have a program end date for your I-20 to be eligible for OPT. If you're an undergraduate student or a non-research graduate, usually that's pretty easy. The program end date is the coursework end date. This is always the last day of finals in the semester in which you are finishing your program. If you're a research-based graduate in a master's program or a PhD, you must be done with your coursework for the degree and either use the coursework end date, which is usually the last day of the semester, a thesis defense date that's been established, the last day of any program requirements for your degree, or a significant academic milestone date in your thesis progression, typically PhD only. This is usually used when a student has completed their coursework already, have not established a thesis defense date, but are all but dissertation and would like to end their I-20 in order to be eligible for OPT. You can reach out to our office through an email if you're in this situation where you are all but dissertation and are looking to find a milestone date to end your I-20 in order to be eligible for OPT. We can assist you with some guidance. What's really important is that all on-campus student employment, including a GA position, if applicable, must stop on your program end date. You can no longer work on campus or in your GA position once you end your I-20. You cannot work again until USCIS adjudicates your application, not until the EAD card is received, and not until the start date on that EAD card. Student employment under OPT is not valid OPT employment. Please consult with your department for a program end date as well. ISSS cannot advise on specific end dates because you and your academic advisor will know your situation best. We do have final discretion on an I-20 end date and will work with you and help you understand why we are choosing that date or why we can confirm the end date that you would like. Please check your current I-20 end date as well. We may need to shorten or change that end date or extend your program if needing more time. Please be aware of that I-20 end date and express any concerns to our office if you are thinking about OPT. So other eligibility criteria notes that you'll need to consider. To be eligible for OPT, you must have been in F1 status in your degree program for 1 consecutive year. This is usually interpreted as 2 consecutive semesters, required semesters. So fall, spring, and also fall. And in some instances, summer can be considered. You must not have engaged in more than 365 days of full-time CPT in your current degree. So if you have engaged in full-time CPT and believe that you have approached the 365 days, please let us know through your application for OPT. You must not have used OPT prior at the same degree level. So if you've already been granted OPT at the bachelor's level, you cannot apply for OPT again at the same degree level. It must be at a higher level. You cannot use a lower degree level to apply for OPT during or after completion of a higher degree level. So if you didn't use OPT at your bachelor's degree level and you completed a master's, you can't go backwards and apply for OPT with your bachelor's degree. It must be progressive with your degree level. You do not need to have employment secured to be eligible to apply for OPT. You do need to find employment after the OPT is approved by USCIS. Please do not prohibit yourself from submitting an OPT request with the thought that you must have employment. We do not need an offer letter of employment in order to recommend you for OPT, and USCIS does not need employment information in CVIS or an offer letter in order to approve your OPT. So how do you request OPT from ISSS? The first step is to decide on a possible or actual program end date for your I-20. Please go back and remember those guidance that we provided in order in deciding a program end date. Alert your academic advisor approver of your intention to apply for OPT and this program end date. That is the second step. Your approver should know when you intend to apply for OPT and end your I-20, because if you're a graduate assistant, they're going to need to know that you're going to have to stop working on that date. The third step is to decide on your possible requested OPT EAD card start date. This is a date in which you are requesting from USCIS to start your employment. It must be within 60 days after the program end date. The EAD end date is a year minus a day from this date. So if you were to use July 1st as your EAD card start date, the EAD card end date would be June 30th. You must gather all the documents that you need in order for us to review your OPT eligibility. This includes copies of any I-20s with prior work authorizations, CPT, OPT, STEM OPT. We do not need a copy of I-20s without work authorizations on it. You must submit copies of your passport bio page and your visa page. The passport must have 6 months validity remaining on it. If it does not, you must submit proof of renewal to us in order to process your OPT. It will be up to USCIS whether they accept proof of renewal. Your visa can be expired as long as you realize that you cannot exit the US until you renew your visa. It is not recommended that you try to renew your visa if you're in an OPT eligibility period and plan on applying. You should wait first for the EAD card before renewing your visa. The last document that you will need is your I-94, and it can be retrieved from DHS's website. The fifth step is beginning a request through the ISS request portal. You'll answer all the questions and be sure to list your approver name and email appropriately in the approver section and click submit. Please remember that if you are in your last term, including summer, and you're enrolled less than full time, perhaps one research credit, you must also submit and have a reduced course load RCL approved. It is advisable that you submit the RCL at the same time that you submit the OPT request if you will be ending your I-20 early, for us to shorten it for OPT purposes so we can process the RCL and OPT at the same time. You're welcome to email ISSS for further guidance and reassurances on how this process works. Let's take a look at our actual request portal and what the OPT request looks like. When you sign into your request portal, you're going to go to Request and Documents. Scroll down the page and open up the OPT application. Please read through the instructions. There are links to our website as well as USCIS website for further information as well. We highly recommend that you view our website and read it a couple times to become familiar with OPT regulations. It is the federal government's stance that individuals applying for and approved for OPT understand all regulations while they are on OPT. Our website will have a comprehensive list of what those regulations are and the procedures you must follow. The first step is to read through the OPT requirements and guidelines. We call this the learning content. In addition to our website, this will highlight some of the most important information that you'll need and let you know the required documents that you must submit for our review. There's an important note about the approver form that is built into the OPT request. If you're a part of the Statler College, you must submit all OPT approver forms to Robin Hissam. And for the Chambers College of Business and Economics, these approver forms will go to Ryan Noon. They will coordinate information with your academic department and let us know about the program end date and about your degree and degree conferral. If you are all but dissertation, they will confirm this as well. The next step are required documents that you must submit. You're going to submit any previous I-20s with OPT recommendation and any previous I-20s with CPT recommendation. If you were granted a STEM extension at a prior degree level, we will need to see this as well. This includes I-20s from other schools as well. Your passport ID page must be submitted and must have 6 months validity remaining. If it does not, please submit proof of renewal. Your visa foil is uploaded. If you have a port of entry stamp, some CBP officials at the border will stamp your passport. You can provide that, but it is optional. And the last document is your I-94 record. After, you're going to click Next and answer several questions. You'll need to give us your U.S. physical address, as it must be updated in CVIS at the time of your application. And if your mailing address is different from your physical address, please enter that as well. You should enter the mailing address that you are going to be utilizing to have USCIS mail your EAD card to you once they're done processing your application. This is the mailing address you will use on your I-765. Next, you'll let us know your current U.S. phone number so we can make sure your CVIS record is updated. To ensure that you are eligible, please make sure you list any other previous CPT or any other previously authorized OPT. There's space to explain if needed as well. Let us know if you've been absent for more than 5 months after beginning your F1 visa. In some instances, you may not be eligible if you've been absent, but we will consult SEVP and government officials to determine your eligibility. You must have been enrolled at WVU for at least 2 consecutive semesters, fall and spring. Please indicate that you have, and we will check your degree works. Let us know your major field of study. What your requested employment start date is. Remember, it must be within 60 days of your program end date. The requested end date is a year minus a day from this date. And let us know what is your planned or anticipated program end date and the significance of this date. Next is a statement of understanding. It lets us know that you are going to abide by the regulations and that you're not authorized to engage in any form of employment between the expiration of your updated OPT I-20 and the authorization date on the OPT EAD card. It also lets us know and reinforces that you understand that filing the I-765 is your responsibility, and you should not submit any application to USCIS without first waiting for the properly endorsed OPT I-20 and recommendation from ISSS. The last step is listing your approver. Please make sure the approver name and the email are correct. Statler College will list Robin Hissam. The Business College will list Ryan Noon. Everyone else will list the approver that is your academic advisor or the person within your academic department that will know your academic situation best. There will be a submit button for students down at the bottom or at the top, depending on your browser. Once you're ready to submit, the approver form will go to the person that you list, and the OPT application request will not enter our queue until the approver completes the form. If you've noticed that we haven't addressed the OPT application and it still says approver review, please reach out to your approver and ask if they've received the electronic recommendation. If they have not, please email us and we can send an email reminder or check on the status of the application. So we're going to get back to the presentation here, a few other notes. So once we complete the recommendation in CBIS and provide the updated OPT I-20 to you, please note that the I-765 is a legal form and filing is a legal matter with USCIS. ISSS cannot assist with filing the I-765 once the updated OPT I-20 is provided to you. Once an OPT I-20 has been issued, students only have 30 days from the issue date to send it to USCIS. Please think of this as an expiration date. The recommendation that we provide you will expire in 30 days. However, with filing online, many students do not have to worry about that date. ISSS will contact the student by email once the updated OPT I-20 is ready. The email will contain instructions for accessing the OPT I-20 and also for applying to USCIS. ISSS does recommend filing online. It's quicker, it's easier, and it's much cheaper. It will also allow you to track your case and submit additional documents if needed. One of the other benefits is as soon as you're done filing, an immediate receipt of filing is provided to you. If you're considering filing by mail, we highly recommend that you look over the online filing instructions and let us know the reasons why you are sending your application by mail. If you're sending your application by mail, it must first go to a lockbox, and a proper address to that lockbox must be on the application. It also must be sent with tracking. This can also lead to delays if USCIS doesn't receive it within 30 days of the recommendation or by the end of your 60-day grace period. With online filing, there should be no need to file by mail. Please alert us if you do feel the need to file by mail so we can discuss with you why filing online is best. Some other requirements for the OPT application to USCIS once the I-20 is ready include one passport-sized picture if you're filing online. The Office of Global Affairs does have a passport facility, and if you are a WVU student, we'll provide you with a complimentary passport photo. Please search for their website and make an appointment, or email us and we can provide you the appointment website. USCIS will also require an application fee of $470 for online filing. The premium processing is $1,685. If premium processed, USCIS has stated that they attempt to process within 30 days of filing. There is an application fee waiver. However, if USCIS denies that waiver, they will also deny the OPT application. It is best to pay the fee unless you absolutely cannot do so. Again, it's very important that you understand that you do not file the Form I-765 with USCIS or pay any fee until you have received your updated Form I-20 recommending OPT from the WVU ISSS office. If you file with USCIS before you receive the I-20 from our office, it will be problematic and may lead to rejection or denial of your OPT. If you make the mistake and have filed before the I-20 is ready, please alert us right away. So once you send your application to USCIS online and it's been receipted, there's a few things you can do while you're waiting and a few things to understand. If you're applying as ABD, all but dissertation, you may continue to enroll as needed in other terms in order to finish your degree. You may not enroll in a new degree program. You can only take courses that will help you complete your current degree, or what we call incident status. Those are courses such as you are interested in maybe art as a hobby and you're taking it as a non-degree. That is okay. However, if you are thinking about pursuing an art degree later on, that could be interpreted as a violation of status. Only take coursework that relates to finishing your degree. You will be in status the entire time the application is pending and while approved for OPT, as long as all other rules and regs are followed. And you may legally remain in the U.S. with a pending OPT application. ISSS does not recommend travel while the OPT application is pending. It can be problematic. The reason being is that you must file while you're in the U.S. If you leave the U.S. and your application is not adjudicated yet, and USCIS approves your application while you're outside of the U.S., they will only send the EAD card to a U.S. address. You would then need someone to monitor your mail in the U.S. and forward that EAD card with tracking, because it will be required to re-enter the U.S. with CBP. This can be highly problematic as well if requests for evidence are sent to the mailing address. You will have to respond from within the US or have someone monitor your mail to send that to you. It is possible to re-enter if your OPT application is still showing as pending at the time of re-entry, but it may face additional questions or scrutiny from CBP. If your application is approved on the day that you travel and you do not have that EAD card, you will be denied entry by Customs and Border Protection. Please contact us if you absolutely need to travel while your OPT application is pending. You must keep your mailing address current, as the EAD card will only be sent to a U.S. mailing address active and associated with your I-765 form. If you move during the time that your OPT application is pending, you must file an address change with USCIS. Please contact our office if this is the case. We will let you know the procedures to do so. The student will also need to contact USCIS about any errors, concerns, or address updates. USCIS will not talk to a PDSO or a DSO about a student case. Please visit the USCIS Contact Center webpage for further information. You must contact ISSS if you do receive a request for evidence, an RFE from USCIS. In some instances, USCIS will require our office to write a letter or verify information for you in order to respond to the request for evidence. These RFEs are dated and they have deadlines. It is very important to let us know when one is received. You can email us and attach it to the email for our review. Adjudication time with USCIS varies from 1 to 5 months, and you can check the case status online through their website using your receipt number. If you are waiting for a job to start and have a firm start date, you cannot start until it's adjudicated. You would need to contact your employer in order to let them know that the application is still pending. ISSS cannot assist you with the timing of your application. We can only assist you with information you need to know in order to file. The timing of your application, the timing of when your job will start, is up to you. Please be sure that you understand the timelines for filing and the processing timelines in order to make it work for your particular circumstance. After USCIS approves your OPT application, you have 90 aggregate days of unemployment allowed before you are out of status. These 90 days start from the start date of your EAD card. They do not start from when you file. Please understand the difference. As soon as you receive your EAD card with the start date, please note that start date and check with us if you need information about how many unemployment days you've exhausted. You must report employment through an OPT employment update request to ISSS. We do not recommend using the SEVP student portal to report employment. You will receive an email from SEVP about opening up and starting your student portal account, which is fine. However, if you report employment yourself and something is wrong or something needs to be addressed, ISSS will have no way of knowing how to address that. Therefore, we require you to submit an OPT employment update so we can check the employment information and let you know of any issues. You must report changes or ending employment within 10 days of that change. So if something changes with existing employment, please send an OPT employment update. If you end employment, please send an OPT employment update right away. Employment must be full-time and closely aligned with and require your degree. The job duties must utilize skills and knowledge you obtained in your coursework. The employment must be the type that similarly situated workers in your field of study would engage in. And employment can be paid or unpaid, but if it's unpaid, it cannot violate U.S. labor laws. What that means is that you cannot work in a position that would otherwise have been paid and call it volunteer. You may also volunteer when it's truly a volunteer opportunity and the employer is not receiving any type of benefit by you volunteering or working with them. It should be strictly training purposes only. You may seek self-employment by obtaining the proper licenses for a business as well. And our office asks that you give us copies of those licenses for a business, if possible, in order to make sure that our records are accurate in the event of a DHS audit. You can work multiple jobs while you're on OPT, but you must work full-time 20 or more hours total between all jobs. For example, you can work 10 hours in one position related to your degree and 10 hours in another related to your degree. There is no upper limit to how many hours you can work on OPT, as long as you're meeting 20 hours per week. If you're STEM OPT extension eligible, you may begin the process of applying for the extension. It is 24 months extension, and you can start that 90 days prior to your EAD card expiration date. However, the application with USCIS must be filed no later than the current EAD card end date from the 12-month OPT. If considering STEM OPT extension, or you feel you're STEM OPT eligible, please be sure to check out our STEM Extension OPT webpage and attend a workshop or an advising session about STEM OPT. That concludes our presentation on how to apply for OPT and the procedures and regulations that you must follow. Our office is available for any follow-up questions or things not addressed during this presentation. Please email isss-students@mail.wvu.edu. Our main page is isss.wvu.edu, and our request page is listed there. We also have resources on our websites. We have an F1 OPT webpage that will have comprehensive information with regulations, steps, and procedures, and FAQs. We also have an I-765 guide and notes on that same page where you can link to it directly. It will give you a step-by-step guide to filing the I-765 based on the paper application. Although we're not familiar with the online filing because it's specific to the student filing, it still will give you a guide on how to fill out certain questions when filing your I-765 online. We always say that the OPT application looks a little bit scarier than it actually is. We're here for you along the way. Once you gain the background knowledge you need to apply, you understand the steps to follow, it should be an easy process for you. Please be sure to make sure that you follow the I-765 directions, that you check all dates, spellings, and document numbers when filing the I-765 as well. And remember, even though we can't help you file the I-765, we can help you with general guidance. So please reach out if you do have questions. We wish you best of luck in pursuing OPT, and we look forward to hearing from you and assisting you on your academic journey. Thank you so much. Have a great day.